my name is Emily Wynn, and today I will be talking about blended learning for Professor Vu's Education 131 class. So to start off, what is blended learning? Blended learning is basically any time a student learns at least in part of a supervised brick-and-mortar location away from home and at least in part through the internet with some element of student control over time, place, or pace. The characteristics of blended learning include 1. A seamless connection between online and offline work, meaning that there is a direct and obvious connection to inform what is happening in the classroom online. 2. Increased student collaboration and control, meaning that there is increased student-to-student or student-to-teacher collaboration. 3. Online classroom presence, where there is more or less like a learning management system and an online home base where it features similar activities that take place in classrooms. And finally, repurposed time, meaning it freezes up classroom time to practice on applied learning skills, and an example of that would be a flipped classroom. And next, we have the key preconditions to consider with blended learning. Firstly, institutional support, and that means is the needed resources readily available? Infrastructure readiness, is there internet access? Content readiness, instructor readiness, and finally learner readiness, meaning what is their students' proficiency level of technology. And next, to dig a little deeper into blended learning, let's look first at the blended learning models. First, we have face-to-face driver, which means that teachers deliver most of the content face-to-face and use online learning on a case-by-case basis to supplement or remediate learning. Next, we have rotation, in which students rotate on a fixed schedule between learning online in an individualized self-paced environment and a traditional face-to-face classroom. With Flex, it features an online platform that delivers most of this content, in which teachers provide an on-site support on a flexible and as-needed basis. Next, Online Lab includes an online platform to deliver the entire course, but in a brick-and-mortar lab environment, whereas online teachers can provide to address students' questions and course content. Next is Self-Blend, in which students take a combination of online courses to supplement their course curriculum. And finally, Online Driver, which uses an online platform and teacher that delivers all curricula where students work remotely for the most part. And to further go into what blended learning is, it is more of a collaborative component with the shift from teacher to student interaction to student interaction shifted into the blending area of technology and an in-person classroom. And to differentiate itself from technology integration, blended learning is more about the instructional design, meaning that technology is leveraged with good teaching plus deliberate instructional planning to create the experience for learners. And with that being said, benefits of blended learning include ability to meet students' educational needs, improving student-to-student communication, reducing the average overall per student cost, lowering student learning outcomes, improving student learning outcomes, and lowering attrition rates. Because of all these advantages, it is increasingly attracting more and more educational institutes to embrace the blended learning approach. However, there is no right blend, and the adherence to a certain ratio of online and offline components is merely subjective. And finally, my reaction on blended learning is that I support this new type of learning style and its effectiveness in the classroom. Readings and videos watched both explain the popularity and growth of this type of learning method in classrooms, as demonstrated by the reading about how it is and can offer a higher level of interaction than commonly experienced in face-to-face courses, and the third video mentioning Spanaway Elementary School's pilot program with the math program Dreambox. With technology ever so advancing as time goes by, it is inevitable that technology will play an integral part in learning. However, we must remember that technology integration is not blended learning, even though it is useful in the classroom. It is the leveraging of technology to increase student participation and involvement in interaction with their peers. And finally, I agree with the material present and blended learning in general, because blended learning has been predicted to be the new normal in course delivery and the new traditional model of how we will perceive education in the future. Thank you for listening to my presentation.